The Indianapolis Colts are 5-6 coming off of a win over the New York Jets in MetLife Stadium in Jersey. If we had lost that game, our season would have been over because the Detroit Lions are coming into town this weekend, and it's going to be a really tough one. The one thing I will say is that a lot of fans are underestimating us right now. I understand that there's no reason for us to fully be all in on beating the Lions. They are 9-1 on the season, and we are 5-6, barely beating the New York Jets. But the reason why I'm optimistic is because, well, first of all, Anthony Richardson is coming off of the best full game of his career. The Rams' second half was the best half, but in terms of the best full game, it was this one. So Richardson, he's playing well. He's got momentum. The defense got stops when it needed to, holding the Jets to a field goal, and then, of course, holding them to no points at the end of the game. Good job by them. The Lions, they're supposed to blow us out. Not only are they supposed to beat us, but they're supposed to blow us out. This is in Indy, so the crowd's in our favor. If we can get up to a good start and just keep the Lions offense off the field and run the ball, feed Jonathan Taylor, feed AR, who got a ton of early carries, you could tell that Shane Steichen, our head coach, has gotten this offense to play as simple as possible. Make it easy on Richardson. Before, it was very complex. It's like Shane was honestly running it for Joe Flacco, who's been in the league for like 13,000 snaps. A lot of snaps. I mean, Richardson, guys, keep in mind that. I mean, he hasn't even played 15 games in the league yet. So Shane, he simplifies it, and now here come the yards. Richardson completes his passes, throws it down the field, takes off with the football, scores a couple of rushing touchdowns. But the Jets are a much different team than the Lions on both sides of the football. Detroit, they realize that they can't afford to be losing to the Colts. They can't be losing to the Panthers. I don't know if they played them, but they can't be losing to the Jags. So I know they just blew out. Like these low teams, they cannot afford to be losing to because they want to get the number one seed in the NFC and have everything come through Detroit. Remember, they were in the NFC Championship game last year against the 49ers, but it was in Santa Clara and they lost. If they were at home, they'd probably win that. So they're going to come ready to play. But the Colts season is on the line, guys. I cover the Broncos, so I know all about them. And I will say it, that you guys would know this too if you look it up, but they're 6-5. We're 5-6. So if we lose this game, we're 5-7. The Broncos, they play against the Raiders and the Browns next. And then they play against us. I expect them to win their next two games pretty easily. And then if they knock us out after we drop the Lions game, I mean, we could basically kiss the playoffs goodbye. Now, the Broncos, they do play the Chargers, Chiefs, and Bengals, not in that order, I don't believe, but the last three games are really difficult. But to that point, they have the tiebreaker if they go 9-8. So it's critical that the Colts come out here and beat the Lions. Now, if we don't beat the Lions, we can beat the Patriots, beat the Broncos off of our bye, Titans, Giants, and Jags, and we'd probably be chilling. But why not just go out there and give yourself as much leanway as possible and be 500 going into your not your biggest game, that would be after the Patriots, but beat the Lions, beat the Patriots. Now you're over 500 going into your bye. I mean, all of a sudden the Colts' direction of their franchise completely changed. It looks like it was dead in the water when AR was benched and Flacco was struggling, and now all of a sudden AR comes back, plays his best game. You beat the Lions and Patriots, you're over 500, and you're facing the Broncos. And at that point, if you beat them, well, they've got three of some of the top teams in football. I know the Bengals are 4-7, but the Bengals are really, really good. As we just saw them nearly beat the Chargers in SoFi Stadium on primetime, that's going to be really hard for the Broncos to overcome. So you've got to be focused on the now. But you also have to realize that this Lions game doesn't only just matter for this week, but it matters for the franchise moving forward. It's a huge game. You're facing off against who I believe is the best team in football, but you have to protect your home field and you have to send a message to the rest of the league that, hey, look, we're coming. We've got a young quarterback who is balling right now. We've got a defense that's playing better and it's gotten healthier. And Shane Steichen, he needs this more than anyone, too. He was questioned for benching AR, and who knows if the benching really did help AR. I think it did, personally, because he started to appreciate the little things more, and he was very much paying more attention to detail. That's what guys were saying inside of the locker room, inside of the building. And I'm going off the Pat McAfee show. Obviously, I'm not in the Colts locker room, but that's what was said on the show this morning when I watched it, is that Richardson, he's starting to take things a lot more seriously. Not that he was slacking off before, but now he's fully invested, and you can see what he's capable of when he is. And that is going out there and throwing for 272 yards and a touchdown against the Jets at 9.1 average, which is really good. 20 of 30 is really good. and then he ran for 32 yards, which isn't anything special, but 2 touchdowns is what we're looking at here. Down in the red zone, the Colts have been virtually unstoppable because of AR. Now, when we went for that 2-point conversion, we handed it off to JT up the gut, which I thought made no sense. When you have Richardson and it's a play where you got to have it, so it's a 4th down and you're going for it, or if it's a 2-point conversion, you've got to put the ball in AR's hands and use him as a runner, but also have the ability to let him throw it, right? That's where a Mo Cox, who's like 6'5", 6'6", having a guy like that who can leak out as a blocker and you can just toss it up to him. Actually, that there was literally a play like that. I just realized. Yeah, right on cue. That's I mean, I'm a Colts fan, obviously, if you guys didn't know that. So, but there was literally a play where Richardson just tossed it over Mo's head and missed him. So yeah, that's right on cue. I didn't intentionally do that play. I just realized they literally did that. So that's the beauty of having Anthony Richardson is when you hand him the ball, all of a sudden everyone else is blocking. But if you hand it to your running back, the quarterback isn't blocking unless goes left and has to force to come right, and then your quarterback's now the lead blocker, which does happen. But when it's just throw the ball to AR, everyone's blocking, and you can also motion a guy out to the right side, run him left, and now that defender's out of the picture. So that's why Anthony Richardson has so much potential. Is because he is essentially a running back playing quarterback. I'm not going to say he's Lamar Jackson, but he's Cam Newton. Justin Fields even, right? But just as a runner, I'm talking about just the ability to not only be fast, but to break tackles too, which is cool. So, but in terms of this Lions game, Detroit, they're coming into this averaging 33.6 points per game, which is just absurd. That's number 1 in the NFL. 394 yards is third. In terms of yards per play, 6.3, which is third. It's just unreal, guys. Touchdowns per game, 4.2. On third down, 45.05%, which is 6th, and 4th down, 66.67%. You look at the Colts offense, we are 19th in points per game at 21.5. Last season, we were in the top 10. Yards, we're 21st at 320.7. In terms of third down, we're 21st, 36.96%. So what that means to me is that the Colts are going to have to play their best offensive game of the season. I don't see a world in hell where we're able to shut down the Detroit Lions. If we hold them to 24 or under, I'd be very, very happy. I don't think we're going to be able to shut them down to 17 points. It's just not going to happen, right? There's no way. I just don't believe it. You look at the Colts defense on the season, we are giving up 22.7 points per game. And we haven't played an offense even really close to the Lions. So, and then in terms of, let's look at touchdowns, we're giving up 2.5. So that's exactly what I mean for the Colts is that they're going to have to take care of the football, cannot give the Lions extra possessions. They're also going to have to get the run game going so that way the clock chews and we take the ball out of Detroit's hands. I think the only way we win is just dominating time of possession. It's sort of like back in 2018 when the Chiefs were putting up historic offensive numbers. The only way to beat them was to take the ball out of their hands, and that's what teams did. And that's the only way the Chiefs lost, right? I mean, Tom Brady obviously had a lot to do with that, but still, guys, we've got to get JT going. We've got to get AR going. We got to get into third and shorts. Aiden Hutchinson's not playing in this game. He's out for the season, but the Lions still come after you. So this is a huge test for the Colts. It's sort of like in college football right now, if you guys are following the playoffs. Some teams, they just have to compete with the best of the best and be in the game to get recognition, which would be great for the Colts. If the Colts lose this game 32-29 and a game-winning kick at the end of regulation, yeah, it would suck, but I still think that would be positive for our franchise moving forward. But the difference for the Colts and like a college football team is that some of those teams, if they have no losses right now or one loss, can afford that. The Colts really can't. 5-6. If the Colts lose this game, they have a 25% chance to make the playoffs moving forward. If they win this game, 47, like nearly a half chance percentage to make the playoffs where they win here. 25 is still a quarter. And like I said, we can still beat the Pats and beat the Broncos, and that's going to skyrocket because we're basically beating the Broncos twice because they get a loss and we get a win, and that's what we're fighting. Yeah, guys, it's your boy Swaggy. Let me know your thoughts in the video. I'm out. Later. Also, subscribe to Daily Colts too. Peace.